In this tutorial, you're going to learn how to make effective use of the Media Bay, Loop Browser, and Sound Browser. These functions allow you to make efficient use of your loops and sample libraries and the presets within your Virtual Studio instruments. Let's start by working with the audio loop track. Let's imagine that we have a whole series of different audio loops stored on the computer, arranged into different styles, tempos, instrumentation, etc. Click on the Media menu and open the Media Bay by clicking on the command or pressing F5. This will open this window here. We can then begin to look at the 4 different sections of this Media Bay window. On the left-hand side is the browser. This allows you to view the various folder structures that contain all of the loops, samples, and other information that are stored on your computer. These will be displayed in a normal file hierarchy, with folders stored within folders in a normal tree structure. In the middle section is the viewer. The viewer allows you to set up certain filtering criteria, which will allow you to gain access to particular loops or sounds. For example, if we click a bass in the category and choose an electric bass as a subcategory, we can now see all of the available loops and samples which meet these criteria. In this example, that means they've been tagged as being a bass and an electric bass. When I click on one of these loops and samples, I'll hear it played back, provided that I have the autoplay button in the bottom right-hand corner turned on. This is within the scope section of the screen, and this means that when I click on a loop or a sample, it will automatically play back and I'll hear it. This allows me to quickly audition the loops and samples within the Media Bay window. Instantly, I can quickly choose which bass loop or other sample that I have on my computer. In the top of the screen, you can see there are various different icons. These allow you to filter out different types of media. Audio files, MIDI files, MIDI loops, track presets, VST plugin presets, video files, and Cubase project files. In this example, we're just looking at audio files, so these will just display loops and samples. On the right-hand side of the screen is the tag editor. This allows us to select an individual loop or sample and to see how it's been tagged. You'll see there's a range of different attributes, bars and beats, categories, family name, and so forth, all the way down to tempo. These are all different attributes that have been set up and attached to the individual loop or sample. I can set up my own tags and attach these to loops and samples stored on my computer. In order to make the most effective use of the Media Bay, it does require you to go through your own sample and loop libraries and add tags to all of the content. Once you've undergone this tagging process, this will make finding your favourite loop or sample of a particular style or instrument really easy. Let's close that and now open the Loop Browser. This can be done by pressing F6. We are now only going to look at audio loops. Let's imagine that I want to find a brass loop. So I'll click on brass, and now I'm going to choose trumpet as a subcategory. Again, I can see the scope is turned on at the bottom, and I'll have the autoplay on. If I click on a loop, I can hear it play back. Select another one. And so on. And this is how I'd go about listening to all of the trumpet loops that I have saved on the computer. I can listen to them by name, by category, subcategory, and so forth. If I want to fine-tune my search a little bit more, I can choose the style column, select a style, in this case let's choose jazz, and we can see that I've got these loops and samples here. Once I've found a loop that I want to use within a Cubase project, I can double-click on it, it will close the loop browser, and you'll see it's inserted a new track and inserted the loop within the project window. I can now simply duplicate it and play back. And now you can hear it play back a second time. And so the audio loop is played a couple of times. It's as simple as that. Once you've tagged all the content on your computer, you'll be able to sort it by style, by tempo, by genre, by instrument. Similarly, Cubase has a preset manager for virtual instruments called the Sound Browser. This is found in the Media menu under a command called Sound Browser. And you can now see we have categories, subcategories, and so forth. And this time you're just looking at presets for virtual instruments. I can select a sound, such as the Bright Steel guitar, and providing that I have a MIDI keyboard connected, if I play it, I can hear the sound. I can now choose a different sound, and I can hear it played back. And so forth. This will allow me to create different sounds as I choose each one from within the sound browser. Once again, I can use categories, subcategories, style, and so forth to set up a filtering system. And for example, let's choose the electro harp here. If I double click on this, it'll actually create a new virtual instrument track on the project window and set this up to work with the corresponding virtual instrument. In this case, the Mystic virtual instrument. So Mediabay, Loop Browser, and Sound Browser are really useful ways to organise and manage all of your content. When used together, they provide a fast and efficient way to gain access to all your favourite sounds.